Hey, amazing people!
Oh, hi guys!
Hi, good afternoon. This is Malar from Hearts&Minds Development Center. Welcome to Being Whole, Being Me. And Pongal Valthakal, today is the Harvest Festival for us. So if you are celebrating the Harvest Festival, enjoy the festival. So you know that, today, when we celebrate our Harvest Festival, we give out very nice sweet rice, which is known as Pongal rice. So without much ado, so what is so sweet about today, we have a very young, sweet, young entrepreneur whom I'm very proud to call, I hope, a friend now, Mallory. And I'm going to bring in Mallory very quickly because I think she's got loads of things that we can benefit from. So let's welcome Mallory. Hi, Mallory. Ooh, where is she? Hi, Mallory.
Hi Malar, hi everybody, and yes, happy Pongal Festival to everybody who's celebrating.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. We should have asked you to wear a sari today.
Yeah, I should.
Have you?
I don't have one. I have a
Have-
Punjabi suit lah. That's the closest I have lah.
Okay. So you need to mix around more with me so that
Okay, noted. We
we
go
get
shopping.
to wear the sari, right? Okay. Good afternoon, Mallory. Mallory. So I'm very curious. I better say hello to Gerald, who is our
Hi Gerald.
lifetime fan who always turns up. Rain or shine. Good afternoon, Gerald. Thanks for coming. He's looking forward to this session. We know lah. Do you know Gerald?
We are connected on LinkedIn. Yes.
Okay. I mean, try not to get to know him. He's not a very nice guy, He's very supportive because he turns up every Friday for us. So yeah, so Mallory, very curious. I'm just very curious, right? Now tell me a little bit about your name.
Okay. So hi Louise, and my name was actually an inspiration. My mom got this inspiration from a movie she watched. So I don't know what's the movie. I'm too young to know. Okay, but she and my dad was watching it, and there was this young girl in the scene, one of the characters, and she's very aggressive. She's very goal driven. She has a lot of things that she wants to do, and she has this independent thing. And so my mom was like, "Our first daughter is going to be Mallory," and that's how my name came about.
And would I be correct in saying that
Yes,
you lived up to what your mom inspired?
Yes.
Was inspired about?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Exactly that. I mean, some call me stubborn, but I think I'm just independent.
You got character lah.
Yeah. Not so what lah.
No. I think stubbornness is character, right?
Yeah. I would agree though. Some people call it stubborn, but I say determined.
Oh, I think that's character. Okay, nice. And Loone is a very I've not heard. Is that your surname?
Yeah. This is her name. I googled it like all young people at one point, and apparently we ran away from the United States of America at some point.
Right.
But when I asked my dad, he said because we are mixed. So just a fun fact, my dad's side is actually a Ceylonese and Chinese mix. So I'm like Champola Malaysian, right? Then so that's me, and I look more Chinese. So if you met my sister, they look like my dad's side, which is definitely a little bit more mixed than me.
Nice.
That's how this name came.
Somehow, somewhere we are connected, right?
Yeah. Some percentage somewhere.
Nice. So does it run in your blood that all of you are as inspired by work?
Actually, yes. Legit. All of us, my sisters, myself, my dad, my mom, we are they're very dedicated to work. We are not self-responsibility is very strong. So when we do anything that we want to do, we actually put our minds to it. We are not the type of person that, I don't like this, I quit. We'll push through till the end. We'll finish what we promised to deliver, no matter how much we hate the job or we love the job. We keep going on and on. So my dad is already 60 plus this year, and he's like, I'm not retiring. I'm just gonna keep working no matter what. So
Nice. So tell me, when did you understand the word inspiration?
okay. It honestly very late. So Work Inspires actually came about at much later a bit in life. So I've been in this field, talent development, for about nine. This is my 10th year now doing this. So at year 5 or 6, when I left my previous company, and then Asfa and I were just brainstorming, and we said, what's the problem with the world today? The problem with the world is that everybody goes to work, complains about their job, can't wait for paycheck day, cannot wait for public holiday, and then they come home. And
Mm.
that's a vicious cycle that we just live in and again and again. And we said, wouldn't it be a bit more nicer if, let's say, out of 300, and I don't know how many days, 300 days you go to work, give or take, out of 300 days, 250 days, you actually feel like, okay, this is not too bad. I can get through the day. And then there are, of course, 50 days of bad days. But wouldn't that be nice if you can have that kind of lifestyle? And so this word inspiring really came to us that time. We said, what if, I mean, we cannot make job perfect, but what if there is someone, or there's a
Mm.
culture, or there's a belief, or there's a work that gives you certain sort of inspiration that no matter how frustrated you are, you can go on another day. So
Nice.
that was what inspiration came as it to us, and that's how Inspire started.
What does inspiration mean to you? Because I think we're all, especially now, looking for some form of inspiration in our life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I love inspiration. I love the word inspire. In fact, what I did was that I went and Googled inspire, and I was quite pleasantly surprised that to inspire actually means to breathe in. The root word is actually to breathe in. And I thought it was like, oh, so brilliant, right? Because I think when we are inspired, something within us shows up, pushes us to do something, right? And so when you think of what the word inspire, because obviously the word is very close to your heart because it's part of your organization name, right? Your
Yes,
company name,
correct.
Work Inspires, right? So tell me, when you think of the word inspire, what does it mean to you in your world?
Okay. Actually, you are right in terms of to breathe in. Because honestly, I don't have one person that I say that this is my inspiration. But I've learned to, for me personally, I've learned to open my mind and just breathe in any little moments, habits, individuals, pets, anything that to me gives me a certain joy and a certain, I call it aha moment, like that aha moment. Say, okay, this is what makes life beautiful.
Mm.
So
So
I
inspiration is aha. So whenever you have aha moment, does it mean you're inspired?
most of the time, yes. Even if it's an idea, even if it's a solution, even if it's like, oh my god, this is so sweet, it just came. So that's when you say even the organization, right, as like you said, the word inspires mean a lot to us. So even for us, we've learned to really keep our mind open to really just cherish any possible moments that can bring inspiration. And sometimes some of our ideas and simulations came at the oddest time. Like I was got one idea I came up with. I just saw a child folding a paper plate and throwing it across Starbucks. And she keeps repeating it again and again and again. And when I asked her what is she doing, and she said that, oh, because behind this each of these paper plane, there's a message. Hopefully someone can read it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like
Wow.
smile, don't be stressed, smiley face. And I'm just like, she's like 5 or 6.
Wow.
And
And,
so,
and so
yeah.
how did that inspire you, Mel?
So for that particular one, I was actually at that point, which is where I believe a bit of a law of attraction. So at that point, I was actually cracking my head trying to do a team building simulation for about, I can't remember how many people, 60 people, and how do you make them communicate with one another? So when I saw her doing that, I said, what would be cool if, let's say, all 60 of them design their own personal plane to inspire somebody else in another department that you've never met or talked to, and you
Mm,
just randomly throw it across the hall and let anybody pick up a message and give another response.
mm.
So that's inspiration. And so that
Nice.
little child's idea of a 5 to 6 year old just randomly throwing paper planes around, and I'm like, that could work. And so I just took that and then we redesigned it into a simulation, and that became proper work. But what I'm trying to get at is that if we keep our mind open, like you say, breathe, right? When you breathe, you don't consciously say that, okay, hold your breath here, breathe here. No, this is bad aura, don't breathe that. You don't do that. Breathing is naturally every moment you're doing it. So when you are breathing, you are absorbing. So same thing like inspiration, right? If we keep our mind open and we just breathe in whatever it is that's around us, things will happen. So like that child, it's not like I specifically sat in Starbucks and go, okay, who can give me inspiration? Doesn't work that way. I just
Right,
kept my mind open and took whatever they came. And
right.
that was that inspiration, that particular one.
You're absolutely right, because one of the articles I read when I was doing a bit of research on what inspires, because one of those things that I've got feedback is that I really get inspired very easily by things around me, right? And sometimes I'm with other people, and I find that some people, it's so difficult to inspire them, right? They don't get it. They're like they don't move, right? And so I was very curious, and one of those things, one of the factors that actually gets people inspired very easily is being open-minded. And
Yes.
you just said it, because when you're open-minded, you're just looking, and you're ready like a sponge to absorb things and take it in, breathe it in, and see how you want to actually use it, right?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to just say hello to a couple of other wonderful people who have come in. That's Louis. Hi, Louis. Louis says hi, Mallory, and
Hi,
Martina.
Louise.
Do you know Louis?
Again, connected. I don't think I met a lot of people here in person.
Can you guys start having coffee or not? Of course, we have our wonderful Jason. Hi, Jason. Thanks for coming. Jason had not much choice, lah. You had to come, I'm sure. Hi, James. James is here. I'm not sure
Hi,
whether you know
James.
James.
Yeah.
Captain James, the very
Yes.
famous Captain James. And Jason says, true, most of us just live for the weekend. So this is the thank God it's Friday syndrome, or why won't we look out for Monday, right? Now that brings us to, you say inspire, but you're looking at how we're talking about how work inspires, because the general thing is that work is a chore,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
I mean, I can perfectly understand. I'm most alive when I'm with my children and when I'm at work,
Correct.
all right?
I think
uh, and so I really have difficulty, or I feel very bad for people who are not inspired at work. So tell me, what does work inspires mean? How did you actually put this together, and what does it mean for you in your world of entrepreneurship?
okay. I think just for a start, right? We can not all of us have the choice of choosing the job that we want, the boss that we work with, the clients that we deal with, the stakeholders. So I'm going to be very realistic. You cannot be injected with happy things every single moment. Not every day you go to work and you're going to go, hey, you know what? It's a happy day. There will be days that you'll be cursing and swearing at everybody from the traffic to the anything in the world till you reach the office. And even the office, you might be dealing with some very ridiculous statements and you go, why lah, why? So I'm not trying to say work inspire us at work, or being inspiring at work means that, oh, you put on a happy space all the time. No. But what we are trying to create is that, is it possible for us to develop a way that people, when you go to work, even if you are not, even when you're not dealing with clients that you're happy with, stakeholders that you're happy with, bosses that you're happy with, colleagues that you're happy with, you find one joy that gives you a, this is worth it moment. That's all. One. So it not all everybody loves their job. I'm pretty sure there's some people that, pressing a certain button a day is not going to give them fulfillment. But they might have fun singing with their colleagues or playing with their colleagues. And this also came from another story where I saw a group of garbage truck and the group of workers literally dancing and singing as they were picking up the trash. And you'll be like thinking, this is the most, I mean, like, it's not like no, nobody says I want to be a garbage truck as an ambition. I mean, not garbage truck, a garbage collector as an ambition, right? But this group of workers, while they were riding the truck, jumping off the street, taking the bags and tying the trash, they were just singing and dancing. And that is exactly what work inspires is. It's about finding moments in your workplaces that gives you that, okay, it's not that bad after all. So when we do this with corporates and with individuals, is that we focus a lot more on, like, okay, Maybe some people are just stuck at this part of learning. Can we help them to change their mindset a bit? Maybe some people just needed certain engagement. Not everybody wants to do yoga and Zumba, yeah? Some people want other kind of engagements. So some people just want dialogue. So we help facilitate that. So I think the key part about what we do is really sitting down with every company, corporation, trying to really understand the root things of why people do why they do and why they don't do what they do. And how can we help them find one thing that will just kickstart, maybe through learning, mentoring, coaching, engagement, whatever it is, but it gives that certain inspiration, like this garbage truck the garbage collectors that's singing and dancing.
Nice, nice. So, so that's bringing me to, because we spoke about what inspiration means to you, and then we spoke a little bit about that it's finding joy in what you do, and then you gave this excellent example of the joy of the garbage collectors, and not not everybody would want to be that, but you seem to also then have injected, because the why. And I'm just going to just share one of the groups that I had interviewed that has inspired me until now is when I was doing work with a hospital, and I had to interview all levels of people, from the security right up to the doctors or specialists and whatever not, right? And I remember in this interview I was waiting to be inspired by the doctors. I was, right? And I was surprised because when we did a post-mortem on the interviews, and we were chatting, and I was shocked that I was most inspired by the cleaners.
Oh, wow.
I still am. That's like my best ever interview about vocations, and all that you're saying, because I asked the question as to what keeps them going, because this group of cleaners, right, were the happy lots, right, and they were so serious about the work, and they wore the badge of honor, and they took a lot of pride. So as I was chatting with them, I wanted to know why is this job, why do they take so much of pride. And I asked them, do you know how you make a difference? And they could answer me much better than the specialists that I met. So what they collectively, if not all of them, most of them told me was this, right? Said the toilets are one of the most important places, because this is, when people come into a hospital, we know there's a lot of germ, right? So we want to make sure people are safe when they use our toilets. And so it's our job to make sure this place is clean and safe enough for the people who come here.
Wow. I'm
And that,
inspired.
well, that's I'll tell you which hospital later. And you can see them. I think I did work with them for about, if I remember correctly, about 2 to 3 months, right? Every day I turned up at work, I saw them showing up the same way over and over and over and over and over again. So, and that brings me to, of course, when I was chatting with them, I was very curious to know what's so great about being a toilet cleaner. I hate cleaning my own toilet. I mean, really. So, is it the
Yes.
job? What I realize is for them, two things, right? One is knowing the meaning, how they make a difference in the job, was one that was very clear for them, right? They didn't fall into the trap of money making, even though money was important for them. That's why they were
Yeah, of
working.
course.
And what was even more exciting for them is that they looked at the job contributing to their personal dreams. It was the bridge to their personal dreams, which is educating the children, putting food on the
Yes,
table.
correct.
So they drew the meaning in their personal life and said, the work is going to now contribute to my personal dreams. So I will treat that as sacred. And
Yeah, I agree.
that's the best message I've taken home. So the days I don't feel like working, and there are days sometimes I'm like, right? I'm reminded of the toilet cleaners in this hospital who inspired me. All right. So now, how do you draw meaning in work inspire? Because I mean, every time I see you, right, you are like this very busy bee who's doing 3,000 things at the same time, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Even when I
Many things.
can do 3,000 things like you, right? And so when I see you, I'm like really inspired. Like, where does she get the energy? But let's look at, so what is the meaning you draw from the work context. Let's talk about context of work, because specifically because work inspires. So in terms of the business you run, which is work inspires, right? What's the meaning you draw?
Okay, I think honestly, wait, earlier you asked about this entrepreneurship thing. I can tell you from start, entrepreneurship was never a dream or a plan. Okay, nowhere near did it became that. I had lots of ambitions, but I know one thing. Since early days till now, I have one consistent goal, which is I want to experience life. I want to see life because I feel that God blessed us with this very beautiful planet, and I don't want to just you know touch wood, but passed away seeing like this. I want to see the world. So that's all I had in mind. So whenever, whatever job that comes with it, I mean, I went for countless of interviews when I was graduating and all that. And I always ask back this question, would this allow me to see the world? Would this allow me to experience life? So that's the only thing I had in mind. So when especially as an entrepreneur, it wasn't planned. It just, oh, it seems right. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? I just go back to a job. That's all I had in mind then. But it really started me with this idea that, oh, I can actually do a lot of things. I can actually experience different things in life. So when now you see like I'm running this, I mean, running with Inspires One, I'm also part of Tullis movement, which you would know because you're a great supporter there. Thank you as well. And other than that, I'm also part of different organizations and charity and also church. So while running all these things inside, I always ask myself, does it still allow me to experience life in different way? Does that gives me the fulfillment to experience life in different way? Of course, not all will serve 10 years. I will not be in everywhere for 10 to 20 years to coming. Then along the way, new things will come and I will go back to the question of does this still allow me to experience life? If it does, then great. If it doesn't, then time to pass on to someone else.
Good.
So
So that brings me to the question, because you keep saying that every part of your life that you are totally engaged in, it means that you want to experience life. So
yeah,
let's just maybe go back to when you say you want to experience life, right? Because earlier, the way you described it, it sounded like travel. But we know, Tulips is not about travel. Tulips is about working with
yeah,
wonderful women, right, and
yeah.
contributing to their lives. So when you say, so tell us a little bit about what do you mean by experience life? What
Okay. Yeah, thanks for reminding me to clarify that as well. Yes, experiencing is not just about traveling. I mean, traveling is one, everybody wants to travel. So I want to see the world, that's one. But for me, experiencing life is to seeing how I can contribute to community in places I'm passionate about. Like I'm passionate about women empowerment a lot. So where can that give me that inspiration about? Similarly, like as an entrepreneur now, the fulfillment in work inspires is the even though it's painful sometimes to crack my head to go, okay, how can we as a team come up with something that really builds a learning journey for this talent? I don't want this talent to work to the company and go, huh, that's it. I want this talent to join the company and go, oh wow, this is amazing. I want to stay here longer. Or this non-executive or executive that thought that's all I could do. And then there's something that we said in our session that goes, oh, maybe I can do more. So that's for me, it's the work context of experiencing. And then there's the community aspect, the social aspect. So even in whether I contribute in church or to Tulips or I'm the Wrestler Association, many things okay that I do. It's about society and giving back to community. And until today, I mentor students and youths uh, for free actually, especially if you're a student. And why I do that is because I feel that everybody would need that someone that they can speak to openly. And maybe I'm not a guru, but I can give something that helps you to move forward and maybe experience different things. So that's what gives me the life experience. But again, like I said, I can't do that forever. Eventually, students will see me as some old lady. I've already felt that. Don't ask me, okay? I know what you're gonna say, but I've already went through that with my young
Hello. If you're
participants.
old lady, then what would they call me? But so I'm not going in that because that's
You
depressing
are
for me.
Sifu. Okay, you are Sifu. Before they will not ask you. When they see me, they're like, oh, this one, I'm like a midlife, like stuck there. And then they will give me terminologies that I will go,
Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you again define midlife, please? All right. It is that
okay,
if you live up to 100, midlife is 50. So everybody here, please agree with me. Midlife is 50, and we know Mal is not. All right. So you can't
okay,
use
okay,
midlife.
okay. All right. The midlife of a youth span. Okay, the youth span. Okay, I think last time KJ called it 45 years for you, for 40 years for you or something. So somewhere there, I've already gone past that 25-year mark. And
Oh,
really, I
I
felt
went
such a
past that so
gap.
long ago. Okay, it's hurting me. The truth is hurting
Okay,
me.
okay, okay. Let's move past this.
I'm going to just say hello to this very good looking guy, Azva. I wonder who he is. He says hello, Malar, and I want to say a special hello to Nimala. She says hi there on the way to a clinic appointment. Great to be able to tune in the grab. So don't play grab. Also, she grabs and she listens to us. Hi, Vijay Kumar Victor. Good to see you again. And he says, well done to Mallory, I believe. Oh, Diong is here. Hi, Diong.
Hi,
Lovely to
Dion.
see you. Agree with you, Malar. Midlife is 50. Thank you, Dion. So you're far from midlife. Now,
Okay,
so
wait.
some of the things I picked up from you, right, Mel, is that you know the words that keeps coming out when you talk about experiencing life. It seems to be, there's this feeling of fulfillment,
Yeah.
right? Optimization of life, I suppose, right? And you want to contribute, and when you talk about contribution, is really giving back to the society. So there seems to be two big parts that you're playing with. One is how you feel full, and I suppose that's why we have invited you to being whole, because when I
Yes, yes.
feel fulfilled, I feel whole, right? And the other part is that it is not just about you, because unfortunately, we are not an island. We find fulfillment when in the communities that we live and we serve, making the world a better place. And you seem to be able to, you have a need for both, which is great, which is why many people are benefiting. But you seem to bring both together. So that seems like how you get inspired, because your work is about bringing the best out of individuals, as and the best out of individuals would then help them to contribute to make the world a better place,
Yeah, you
right?
summed up
Yeah.
very well.
Yes, yeah, I've been getting compliments for my summary, so thank you. Now, but the thing is this, right? How did this lead you into entrepreneurship? And I hear you, right? I perfectly understand that you're an accidental entrepreneur. That means you didn't start off to build a business. I'm not even sure if I don't consider myself an entrepreneur. So I get you, right? But how does wanting a fulfilling life as well as contributing to the world, does that fit into your world of entrepreneurship?
I actually like what you talk about whole being, right? Like this session is called being whole being, right? And that whole being part really got to me the really hard way, because when I realized, when I had this saying at one point in my life, if you are not living a fulfilling life, you are basically existing, but you're not living. You are just walking on this planet because, well, God put you here, so yeah, go deal with it. But when you are feeling fulfilled, you are actually living life per se. So when you talk about this whole being, honestly, for me being an entrepreneur, the hardest part about it is not the finances, it's not the business, not the sales, it's your mental emotional well-being. That to me is the most difficult thing for me to deal with in this whole journey, because then it's like riding a roller coaster. You scream one part, then you go, oh, we're taking a slow ride. You scream another part, then you're ready to scroll ride. For me, it's like, oh, we cry, and then I'm fine, and then I cry again, and then I'm fine again. So that's like my constant emotions and mental. So when I'm not fulfilled, I at one point of my whole entrepreneurship life. So this is my third business per se. I had one exit, one failed business. So for the first business I ran, and then when I exited the business, I felt so lost. Honestly, very lost. It came to a point where I was insomniac. Like I couldn't sleep. I was just awake all the time. I'm tired all the time. I gained so much weight, not from eating. I'm not stressed. I mean, I'm not eating. I'm exercising, but I'm gaining weight. So it's literally due to stress, and due to just tiredness.
Mm.
And with all that came about, I realized that I'm just tired, really, really tired, and that's not wholesome. So when Work Inspire started, the one thing that Asfar and I, which is Asfar here, Asfar Z, so he, as my business partner, we both agreed that, okay, whatever we do at Work Inspires, we got to make sure we are okay. Not
Nice.
just financially okay, but we have time for ourselves. We have time to do things we want. We have time to contribute in places that we want. Not everything is dollars and cents. So
Mm.
that is why, even with Jason joining us and then our new team, Caroline, so we all, everybody in, everyone is. Everybody have the same thinking. So if you want a time off early to go and contribute to church, go. If you want to mentor this person, even though it's free, go ahead. Not everything has to, not everybody will say that's not very smart in some way, because as an entrepreneur, you're supposed to make money. Money is important in some sense for us. But on the other hand, we also want to make sure that we are happy doing what we're doing, because it's a marathon. You cannot run it and then eventually burn out and you just don't feel like doing. And the biggest sign that's the biggest help. So when you say merging these two together, it really makes me happy. And being happy helps me stay sane while we run the business. Because if not, I will be reaching the point where I'm like, I'm just don't want to do this anymore. And I've done that. I've been through that part about 8, 9 months of just not okay. And then I've like, okay, I'm done that. I don't want to go back there again.
Mm. So Mel, you gave me some magic words. You said, Gerald says 50s is the new 30s.
See?
So 30s is the new what? I don't know. But
15.
never mind. Yeah. That would be an insult for a lot of people in the 30s who are doing miracles. Now, so you said something that really caught my attention. You said this is your third business. The first one you exit, the second one you failed,
Yeah.
and this is your third one. So I'm just going to pause you at that. And just before that, you said something which is of very, very high value for me, at least. I'm not sure about the audience, because you're one of the rare successful young women who comes up on screen and say, I cry and I'm okay, and I cry and I'm okay, right? Because I mean, men in the past, were associated to as crying as weak. Now the thing is, a lot of women also now think crying is weak, right? And I'm glad to hear that you say you cry and you're okay. So tell us just a little bit before we go into your three businesses, right? When you say you cry, you're okay. You cry, you're okay. And I'm grateful you said that, right? So tell us, what gives you this courage to say that this is normal?
Okay. I came to a point where I learned about the importance of being me, because
Nice.
I've gone through part where I don't know what I'm doing, who I am, and things like that. So I very honestly sharing, like today I told Mala this when we first, I said I don't know who's about. I'll just say whatever I say, and whatever I say is what I truly believes. So including crying. And the reason why I say that is because all of us, men included especially, we all have this emotional wall, and we think that if we are crying, we weak. And this actually a story to share is that when I first started, a very seasoned entrepreneur actually said this to me. And he's somebody I looked up to at one point. He said, Mallory, are you sure you want to be an entrepreneur? Because it's a very emotional journey and ladies are pretty emotional. And I was like, man has emotions too, no? But that when that came, it really hit me like, is it true? Is it true? So when I actually started, I really felt the emotional up and down. But because I held this strong wall that I can't cry, I'm not allowed to
Mm,
break. I cannot. I need to show my team I'm okay. Eventually, that hit the burnout, and that hit a very bad stage of depression that I just didn't get out of it. I just
mm,
couldn't get out of it. So now, even at work with my team, I'm really who I am. When I'm like bottling up inside, I turn into a, okay, there's this creature called Pushin that I really like. It's basically this stuffed fat cat that's grey. Cartoon lah, okay, of sort. And I really turn into that cat. I'll go meowing in the office. I'll just go meow, meow, meow in my
seriously?
office. Yes. And I'm
Nice.
free like that. Literally. So when I'm stressed, I'm like this cat, when cat are stressed, all the fur will come out, right? I'm just like that. And sometimes my team will just pat me on the head and go, calm down, kitty, calm down. So I'm very me when I'm at office, so that this
Nice.
is really who I am. And I'm very blunt, so I'm very upfront in the sense where I just tell them that, okay, there are days where I'm very firm with the job. So when I'm firm with the job, it means I'll just tell you, ABC, my child, no emotions, but I still care about you, yeah, don't get me wrong.
Mm,
And when I learned that when you can communicate all this, the whole time we actually feel very tight. Like all of us have this perfect human being that we're trying to become, perfect mother, perfect wife, perfect everything. And when all that is done, we feel very tired. And to me, that kills a wholesome person. You see, You see, this is Mel. Not a lot of people know. Correct now, today everybody knows this is the
Yeah,
Mallory.
yeah,
She
yeah.
melts, she
Jason,
pinches.
Jason says you will start pinching people. Oh my gosh, you're
Yes,
scary. Yeah, you're
I,
scary. And Asma says this is Mel that not a lot of people know. Now the whole world knows.
correct.
Right,
So, and sometimes I mean, that's why I say when we can all be who we are, that's where you really become whole and happy. And that
nice,
helps in an entrepreneur journey, your work journey, in your personal life. So, I mean, I get it. Not everybody can accept you the way you are. So, I do encourage to do it in a safe space. And
nice.
to me, the courage comes from letting go of people who you cannot be yourself with. That means just don't keep them their opinions too much. Don't keep everything about them too much. Just learn to be you in an area they're comfortable with, because human beings are like that. When they see, like the first time you see somebody behaving this way, I'm pretty sure everybody go like, "Yeah, Mallory's so weird." After a while, they just go like, "Oh, that's Mallory,"
Mm,
and they just get used to it.
mm, mm.
So yeah, just be
Nice.
you.
Nice. So you've actually brought in what is really important for this show, which is being me, right? Like, and you are showing your side that not everybody gets to see, except for the lucky people like Jason and Azfar, right? But and what is really interesting is what your mentor said about you women being emotional, right? So usually what I do when men tell me you women are emotional, because I'm super emotional too, right? I tell the man that we live longer by 5 years because we get to express emotion, and they short live because they suppress their emotion. And today there's science to confirm that. So this is specifically going to all the strong men here who feel women are emotional. I just want you to know you've traded 5 years of your life.
I'm going to use that now. Okay, a very wise woman tell me that men short have their life shortened
No,
because they
it
suppress
is true.
emotion.
It is true because if you look at mental health statistics, right? So we would think that. So if you look at different types of mental health statistics, right? Women are always seen as emotional, and that's true because we have stayed true to our core. Number one, which is human to be emotional. Number two is I think women have had more permission to be emotional or to be weak,
Yeah,
right? So this is not to say men are not emotional. I think, to be fair, men were never given permission to be human, I think. And I think that's a part that we have not handled. We've criticized men a lot for being strong, but we've not given them the space to be human in the
yeah.
right
I think that's true though. It's hard. That's why I said, and also I think the way, I mean, I'm not a man, but I've also seen a lot of men that they, when they have problems, they don't really talk about things. Mainly because they will just go out with each other and just have a couple of drinks.
Yeah, and I mean, this comes to, I was having a conversation with Luis a couple of days ago, and this is where we say, women had a lot of practice in terms of time to get into the career world or to enter the men's world, but men have had not had practice to get into the women's world, which is to be to get in touch with the feminine side. We have both.
Yeah,
So I for me personally, I think we criticize the men too much. I think they've not had enough practice in communicating, first even being in touch with what they feel, right? So if they don't know what they feel, how the heck are they going to communicate what they feel? And if they don't know how to communicate what they feel, how are they going to empathize with us? So I mean, that's my take on men. So all you strong guys, my heart goes out to you because you live at least 5 years shorter.
love you
So get
all.
it. Huh? Who's
Love
that?
you all. Love you
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Love you all.
love you all. So try and live longer. Come and talk to us, all right? And we'll teach you some skill. Diong says, "Great point, Malar. That's why we are stronger and more pain tolerant." Oh, Diong, I'm sorry. I'm going to address this one. I said this is another problem with women, right? We take a lot of pride in being strong and being pain tolerant. I think we need to stop doing that. Whether it's men or women, our pain tolerance is the one that's causing our illness because
Yeah, I
we,
agree. I
yeah.
have to agree with that.
So
And sorry, one last thing to touch before we move past this topic is a lot on unconscious biasness. I talk about
yeah.
that in one of my TEDx talk as well. Is that this equality thing and inequality thing, a lot of it happened because of unconscious bias. Like I think what the mentor that said to me about women being a bit more emotional in so business not the world for you. But maybe he meant it well. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. He meant it well as a concern. Okay. But when you said it in a way like that, it's called unconscious bias. You don't think about it, you just say it. Like how sometimes we said, oh, man, like we said, oh, man is the household, they need to take care of the household. And who says that men only have to take care of the household? That's also the ladies' part, right? So all this that come into play is unconscious bias. So when women makes better cook, or when there's a reckless, I have this a lot. When there's a reckless driver on the road, the lady.
Did you know this? Because I've been said that too, because I don't consider myself a great driver, but when people make remarks about women drivers being, how we are very cautious when we are overtaking and stuff like that. Now, so when men say, or when anyone says, that's a female driver who's making it difficult on the road, I always say, go and check the statistics. Accidents are caused more by men than women. So we are contributing to the safety of the world, and it's okay if you call us names. All right. So go and check statistics before you blame another female driver. So the next time you see a female driver who's extremely cautious, know that she probably saved someone you love by being cautious. Okay. Now that sounded like a feminist one, but that's according to statistics. So I just wanted to, because Diong said that's why we are stronger and more pain tolerant. So if we look at, and I wanted to just add on to this, because I think it's not just about women. Women have more pain tolerance because we've been practicing pain tolerance from labor, right? We're told that you need to prepare for labor and stuff like that, right? Number one. But men also tolerate a lot of pain at their work, which they don't cry about, which has caused a lot of illness. I think the whole idea is not a male female thing. I think we need to humanize that, we are human first. And I don't think in a full life experience, we don't want to go and sort out pain, right? To just be stronger. Pain will come, we will get stronger, but don't sort out for pain is what I want to tell Dion. Now, Asva says that's why we have each other, fantastic. And Jason says, but wait, does that mean I live 5 years longer as I express my emotions more than other male friends of mine? Yes, Jason, that could that, which means that you get to grow old with the women who are going to live longer, but bring your other male friends along so that we all can be happy together. Vijay Kumar says, what about women like Margaret Thatcher and Indira Gandhi, not to mention some of the lady bosses I've had in my younger days? They might as well be in Sean Connery. Obviously, right, Vijay? I mean, look at the life of Margaret Thatcher. She is strong, but let's look at what happened towards the end of life, right? And I think this is really also important to what Mallory had said about living a fulfilling life. I mean, have you seen her in photos where she smiles? And the smile reaches the eye, right? And I think that's what we're talking about, right? How being whole, being me is about being the best version of yourself, and joy is part of our best version.
Yeah.
Right. And how you express joy. Okay, that is someone is going to say, Mallory, you're talking too much. I agree. Now let's go to Mallory because we've got a couple more minutes. Now, so tell us, Mal, I liked what you said. This is your third business. You exit, you failed, and you're now in your third business. If you don't mind, tell us. So if no, without details, what made you exit? Not what happened. I think that yeah. So why you exited your first business? Why did you think your second business failed? And then I'll come to the third question after that. Possible?
Okay, great. Yes, can. So for the first business, I exited because there was a big difference between myself and the business partners. So we have about 4 investors. So myself and 3 others. So I'm the minority out of all, and that was again my first time. So the original, original founder, or he's a majority shareholder. His name is Michael Teo. So he and myself, we have differences in opinion along with other investors. So that's why exiting became a better option. So I think the lesson there would be, for me at that point, the lesson would be about how can, if it's not for you, it's let go. If it's not for you, it's let go. Because rather than torturing yourself through and torturing everybody there to hang on, it's better to just let go and move forward.
Okay, I'm
So,
going to
and
stop you there.
yeah.
What inspired you to let go?
Okay, I think for me at that point, because we have very difference in the way things are running, and I think that's torturing the team as well, because the team have to somewhat like, oh, if we're going A, are we going B? Where are we going? And then that will also make everybody unhappy with us. Like I'm trying to push this idea, he's trying to push this idea. The investors are cracking their head trying to make us work. So
Mm,
at the end of the day, to me, like say, come back to this word fulfillment, right? What makes me to see fulfillment in other people and to build community? Going back to this too, that doesn't serve any of this. It's just two people keep fighting about things. So, and that point, you reach to a point for me where I'm like, is this still worth hanging on? And if it's not worth hanging on, let go and move forward.
mm. And
And
when
the
you
business is still
decided,
running today.
sure,
Their business is still running and they're doing very well.
I know, I know Michael and the team. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you, when you let go,
Mm.
I mean, it's
Was
it's
it
an
easy?
established business, things are doing well, and when you let go, was there any part of you that you had to let go, or you found yourself by letting go?
I think I'm a very controlling person. Like I like my life planned out. I like things at one point. That was me. And so when I let go, I just felt very empty. And to be honest, if I look back now, I didn't I didn't handle myself well, I would say. I was emotionally all over the place, mentally haywire. I was snapping at everybody in the world. And I look back now, oh my God, that was a monster compared to what I am today. I was just shouting and raising voices and upset and angry and hostile. I was just many things, honestly. So when I was looking back and now that I look back and I go, okay, at that point, I'm grateful in the sense where the willpower to not to hang on is stronger than to just succumb and say, okay, I'll do whatever is required.
I know.
Because just by letting go properly, eventually, honestly, it wasn't like, okay, thank you very much, moving on. No, it didn't happen that way. It took me about a year to properly move forward and let go. So for that whole period, I took a lot of time to do self-reflection. I found myself to be a lot better. And the me that you see today came out of that. So I'm very
Right.
grateful for the experience because the me now can do a lot more good than the me then.
Yeah, I mean, that shows off, right? Because I think it takes a lot of courage to say, the monster in you came out. Because I think we all have our dark side and our monsters. And when we are stirred in the right spaces, then when we allow it to come out, then it will help the light shine brighter. And I think that's the light we see in you. But to acknowledge that something's upset us and to be able to express that and to acknowledge that help you to grow, I think that's an amazing attribute, Mel, because not many people will say, I behaved badly. I mean, I have, if not dozens, tons of examples where I behaved so badly, because when people say, oh, you're emotionally intelligent, I still say I'm trying, right? Because I'm not. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not a place that I'm always there, but I strive, right? Now, so I love so what I heard from you is that you stayed true to your values, and what I'm getting from your story in the exit is that there was a conflict of values, and you chose to stay true to contributing. And contribution here actually meant, if people are not going to be happy because of my conflict, I will withdraw. That's what I heard. Did I hear you well?
Yeah. You're right in that sense. Because I think, like even today at Work Inspires, I told this to my team as well. I said that if it comes to a day where I'm no longer contributing, then I
Yeah.
will need to pass on to another leader because there's only so much that we all can do, and that's why life is about growth, right? So it's always growing, and there's a maximum capacity. Even how much I learn, how much I practice, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
Eventually, you gotta move.
Right.
So
Right.
that's to me a contribution.
So much of wisdom for someone who hasn't reached middle age. Now let's talk about your business failure, right? So tell us
Yes.
about your second venture, which so first tell me, after exiting a business, what gave you the courage to enter another business? And I'm asking this question for myself
Okay.
because I had a failed partnership and I am terrified till now to enter any other partnership.
I can
So
tell you very honestly that second one is ego.
tell us
It's
more.
yeah, it's ego.
Since
Okay.
you
I
are
mean,
successful, yeah, tell us
being
more.
an entrepreneur so long, I kind of don't want to be like, oh, okay, you had this life and then go back to work and things because that's not who I am. So I just wanted to prove that I can do something, and I wanted to do something relevant. I mean, relevant in time, which is tech based.
Right.
And then I learned the hard lesson about if you're not good at something, don't try to be it. If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. Because
Okay.
my team calls me a dinosaur here, mainly because I'm tech almost zero. Like a lot of basic things, I get the basic things, but it comes to many other nitty gritty programming and all that stuff, I can never understand.
Right.
So I thank God for the man in this in the work inspires for this lah, okay? Because the two guys are like superb when it comes to this, and I'm just horrible. So when it came to that business, it was tech based. I had a lot of issues trying to talk to the programmers. It's like then I had a lot of issues trying to layman things to me because I'm like this girl that goes, why can't it be done? And they were like, because this is the back end that didn't get. And I'm like, huh? And they just so end of the day, before the business fully took off, it just went very, very, very badly. So at that the point where the second time come to play, right? I was actually going to apply for a grant, and then I decided not to and spare everybody the misery. Again, back to pulling yourself out if you're no longer contributing. So I decided to, spare everybody the misery and pull the plug and say thank you so much. I'm going to pass the idea, the team, and everything to someone else. If they want to run it, they run it. If they don't want to run it, it's perfectly fine. Let it go.
Fine. So why do you call that action a failure? Because it sounds to me that you also exited the second business.
Okay,
Why do you label it as
yeah,
failure?
I think because this one didn't take off. Like
Ah,
it's just an idea. It ran like
okay.
prototype, and then I just okay, thank you. I didn't bother going for it.
Got it, got it, got it. Nice. And then how did you find inspiration and courage to start yet another business with these two amazing young people, young men, right? Who
Yes.
complement you so well. And they also are quite nice. Lah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, relatively nice lah. Huh? I'm damn
Very
missus.
relatively nice. At least to me. Jason, you heard me. I said you and Aswa are really nice. Okay, moving on. So tell me, what inspired you to start Work Inspire with another um, uh, I mean getting into another partnership, because you would have learned lessons from your first and your second, right? So tell us what is the wisdom that you took that inspired you to try again.
Okay. So the first one had partnership. The second one was me. So I learned that I work better with a partner. I cannot do solo.
Oh,
There are
cool.
people that can.
Cool.
I can't. I need
Cool.
I need a support. So I need a support. I need people to
Nice.
bounce idea. I need somebody to knock senses to me. I need a lot of
Nice.
things. I'm like a very needy person. Sounds like it. But so what I learned is that communication and managing expectations is a very important part of this. I think those two things kept us together for so long. No doubt, no doubt, we fight. Like sometimes when Asfa and I communicate, Jason look at us like, my gosh, they're arguing. And then after a while, he came to the point that, oh no, they're just speaking like normal human beings, but they're just raising their voices all over the place. But it's
Which
perfectly
is
normal
also
for us.
normal. Which is
Yeah, it's
also
perfectly
normal.
normal for us. It works for us. So
Yeah.
eventually he got used to it. But so at that point, I want to tie this back to also personal self. A lot of times in any relationship, any life, we tend to not tell people how we feel. It's simple when you're young, when someone gives you a present and then your parents ask you, do you like it? What we do? Yes, I do. But actually you don't. But you say you do
Mm.
because you try to please people. And that habit carried through till you grown up and you do not know how to speak about who you are, what you want, your opinion well. So because of that, when it came to this partnership, Asfa and I had agreement that said no matter what, we are going to communicate. We manage our expectations very
Wow.
well. We do check-ins, even though it's just two of us then, we do check-in so frequently. Are we still moving the same direction? Are we still moving the direction? And Asfa came out with this tagline. Um, I can't remember the full thing now because we kind of evolved it, but the Australian mantra for us that no matter what happens, we still love each other. So until
Whoa.
today with Jason, we said the same thing. No matter what happens, we still love each other. So that kind of keep us together in the sense that we prioritize this relationship a lot more than any of who's right, who's wrong. So we find ways to make it work. So even in communication, even in if most of the time Asfa and I are almost contradicting idea, and then we say, okay, we're going to be heated now. Let's take a step back and then cool down, and then we come back again objectively to look at it because we value the friendship. So it
Nice.
also came to a point that we can be bickering in the meeting room and then, hey, let's go for lunch. Like nothing happened. And that's perfectly
Okay,
fine.
let's stop there because I think you are actually giving us quite a bit of nice, interesting nuggets. I love the fact as
Thank
well
you, Asma.
each other and happy we are doing this. Ala cukup lah Asma. I'm like enough of all three of you loving each other. Okay, all right. So now include me in now. So the common challenge where we mix business with pleasure, right? Is the idea of when it comes to relationship and results. I mean, when the both meet, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you say, you're running a business and you're saying that when we have a conflict, when we have challenges, are you saying you will choose the relationship, i.e. friendship, over results? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, I think what we meant, yeah, I think that's exactly what I meant, but I meant it in a way that we rather have drop the discussion first, calm down, come back together, rather than pushing your ego through. That's what we meant. Because a lot of times, I'm speaking for myself especially, a lot of times for me, I want to be right and I cannot be wrong. Okay, a lot of times, I'm frankly
I mean,
saying
the
this.
women are always right anyway, Mel. What's the
Yeah.
problem? Okay,
So,
sorry.
but that comes back to this word growth mindset, right? Okay, so
Right.
when we talk about growth mindset, I actually really learned to practice it over the last 2 years. So over the last 2 years, whenever now I have this already in my head that's not going to work, I shut myself up and said that, okay, let's listen. Because a lot of times I think fast, and then when I said no, it's not going to work, and then he haven't even finished explaining, Jason haven't finished doing the proposal, and I'm really saying no, it's not going to work, and then we'd be fighting. So then, if let's say, assuming that I don't value this relationship, just work tasks, right? I will just bulldoze my way through and say, no, I really know it's not going to work. Listen to me, get it done. If, like, especially Jason, who's technically, I mean, even though we're all like together, but he's technically under us, then he will be like, okay, my boss says do it, so I gotta do it. And that kills ideation, that kills motivation, that kills inspiration because I didn't bother even listening. So when it came to even for Asfa and I, sometimes I just have to keep quiet, like shut up, Mallory. I know you know your answer, but shut up and just listen and open your mind. And that's where the growth mindset really is. Because a lot of times we say, oh, we practice growth mindset, but here's my box. That's not growth mindset, really. So it's now what I'm trying to do for myself is this is my box that I'm so used to because I with them say go A, go B, go C. Now I'm trying to expand my box and say, can we do it differently? Can we do it differently? So that comes from by that actually this whole practice came from first prioritizing the relationship for us. It works well. So when we are at a heated place, we say, okay, thank you very much, calm down, and then moving forward. And then after that, we come back again and say, okay, I'm calm now, let's rediscuss. And when we prioritize that, we also give room for each other. Like for example, sometimes I will go off and I will really like my emotions are there. As far as like Mallory, take a breather and then come back. And then sometimes like I feel that we are going nowhere and I'm getting frustrated. I will just say, guys, I'm getting a bit frustrated. Let's stop here. We'll rest and come back again. And the respect for each other came from that because we said, okay, we care for each other's well-being. We said, okay, you're not coming, do that. But we set deadlines so that we still get the business done.
Okay, good. I like the explanation you gave. So basically, what you're saying is this, right? Whenever there is a space of conflict, and because you all have you are anchored or secured in the bit that we will love each other, that means we'll do the right thing for each other. Is what I'm hearing. We'll do what is
Yeah.
right for us, for the business because we've agreed on the direction, right?
Yeah.
So we know that the fights, the argument, it's all about keeping us in the space that why we started the business in the first place is what you're saying. And what
Yeah.
you're saying also is that when you're having conflict and heated argument, you check in for yourself to see whether you are calm. Because when
Yeah.
you're not calm, then you're not going to be able to think well, you're not going to be able to be calm, and you might actually say things that is driven by ego, which can hurt the relationship.
Yes. And eventually hurt the business. Learn that the hard way too.
Yeah, I mean, so and you, all three of you seem to hold on to that principle. And what I also liked about what you said, and this is some one of those conversations that had inspired me when I first chatted with you, is the fact that all of you put out your expectation as to how do we behave in the business, right? Do we always speak the truth? And however ugly the truth comes out, let's stick on with the truth and see how to make it work, And of
Yeah.
course, Vijay says keep it professional, right?
Yeah, actually, that's an important point. Like, no matter how close we are as friends, when it comes to a discussion, like for example, if Jason said, I have this idea, I will still say, come up with a proposal. No matter how close we are, I'll still say, come up with a proposal, propose it to us, we'll discuss about it, and then we can execute it. So
Mm,
that is the part that we meant by, okay, how close we are. We still, like what you summarized it very well, is that because we love each other, we care for the business, we care where we're going, we still keep the boundaries between the friendship and the professional very well.
nice, nice. So, and that's how you strengthen the relationship, because then everybody becomes an equal, and like what you said, when everybody feels like an equal, i.e., respected, then the
Mhm.
best ideas and keeping people engaged in the business well, it becomes effortless because people are there because they want to be there, not because they have to be there, is what you're saying,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Now, oh, thank you, Mallory. So I'm just going to read a couple of really nice stuff that people have written. Gerald says, I believe women are taking over the world, and he says he will live longer. Yeah, okay, women, I'm not going to comment on that. That's what he says. Um, I love this one. Vijay says it takes a champ to call it quits. Remember Theranos. Nice one. Thank you very much. My friend Sharul is here. So Sharul is one of these people I've had privileged working with, and who gave me a lot of feedback about me as a business owner. And he's one of those I truly enjoyed getting feedback, hard feedback, because he's almost the right opposite of me. And that's what I liked what you said about. So one of those things I learned is that when we go for meetings, and if there are two of us from the organization that's present for a meeting, it's to ensure that two people are different, because if you bring in two people who are the same, then we don't add value to a client's life, because it's the same idea coming through for the client.
Yeah,
That
correct.
took me quite a lot to say it's okay for us to disagree in front of the client, because we usually tell the client we want to bring you different perspective to add value to what you're doing. And what you have actually done is that you've added on to say that how you need to bring in relationship and results,
Yeah,
right? How
very
do
true.
you look after the person who is actually now working for the dream of the organization or the purpose of the organization? And you seem to have put in processes, communication processes that brings you back to the meaning of work, so
Yeah,
that you
and
continuously
that
stay inspired. Yeah.
that also works well with your clients. That's why, like, something that we focus a lot on is not really just about getting new clients, but about retaining clients. So what it means by retaining clients is basically just making sure that the relationship you have is not just transactional, like, oh, thank you very much for your time, and I don't see you, and then the next thing you know, you only wish for Christmas, New Year, and Chinese New Year,
Oh,
like
at least, hey, that's
Deepavali,
not so
Raya.
bad as to people who just meet when the next business idea comes. Okay.
There's a
Anyway,
lot of that too.
thank you, thank you. So, Mallory, thank you very, very much. For giving us so many nuggets as to what keeps you inspired at work, what work means, and we can see how you continuously check in with yourself, stay open to new feedback that's coming through and how you apply your growth mindset and to help you grow. And what I loved most about you, from an EQ perspective, your awareness is just amazing. And I think what is even more exciting about you is the fact that you not only stay open to feedback and you're aware, you actually do something about it. You call it growth mindset, we call it self-regulation. And I absolutely admire and respect the bit that you are not just doing that for yourself, but you strive to do that for the people who come into to your space, putting in the respect, putting in the processes, right, which actually completes the whole circle of emotional intelligence. And I want to thank you for that. The times I have partnered with you guys, I must say that it's been a beautiful experience, and I want to thank you for that. Now, if you're ready to go into our rapid fire, what would be your one last advice that you would give in terms of the topic work inspires to the people who are listening?
Okay. Only one advice would be to focus on daily progressions, not someday perfection. That's my advice in
Mm.
everything. Because there's no perfect workplace, perfect relationship, perfect anything. So focus on doing just one thing at a time, and you get better every single day to find your inspiring Zen mode, rather than saying that, oh, I'll wait for the perfect office, perfect boss, perfect anything.
Ah, progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, are you ready for your rapid fire, darling?
Yes, bring it.
Huh. All right. So, you need to finish this sentence, right? Inspiration makes me whole.
You finish the sentence?
You finish the sentence. Inspiration makes me, that's Mallory, whole.
Okay.
How?
By making me feel happy.
All right. Asma and Jason, I'm going to ask you to finish the sentences for Mallory too, to see whether how you guys are, right? Or how you perceive Mallory for fun. So do it for fun if you're up to it. Work makes me me. Work
By
makes. Mm.
by allowing me to become the person that I can be truly, like the pushing and the
Woo.
angry and the everything.
Okay, nice, nice. So credit go to Jason and Asfa. All right. The best gift of entrepreneurship.
Is the satisfaction of knowing you make a difference.
Nice. The greatest price I have paid as an entrepreneur.
That's hard. Oh my god. Okay, greatest fight. I don't have that. I really don't. Greatest
You
fight I
don't?
feel an entrepreneur is nothing.
Yeah, but haven't you paid a price to be who you are today?
Yeah, but it's not a price because I find that it's a journey.
So what have you invested?
Okay, time.
Okay. All right. The day, okay, one thing you have heard people say behind your back that is
Mallory is very fierce.
but is Mallory fierce?
Can be. Jason would agree.
Okay, nice, nice. The day I stopped feeling inspired at work.
Is the day that I no longer see myself happy doing it.
Nice. I think you said something like that just now. Last one. How do you ensure that you're inspired and you're not becoming a workaholic, Mallory?
By socializing and playing golf.
Woo! Okay, so beyond meowing like a cat around, you socialize. That means you're nice to people beyond doing the community work and you play golf.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. And Jason says, work makes me me by allowing me to explore ideas and have a support system to making my ideas happen. Fantastic. And he also says, yes, I agree. She is fierce but loving. So we have a new word for Mallory, loving fierceness. All right. Thank you very
Oh, I
much,
like
Jason, for all. She does that by giving coffee and chocolate. Okay, whichever that is. So you bribe people also, I can see that.
they bribe me. So whenever they make a mistake, they will get me chocolate or coffee, and then the bigger the chocolate, the bigger the mistake.
So does that mean that even though you don't recognize the mistake, when the coffee and the chocolate comes, you know they've made mistake?
Yeah, correct. For sure. So sometimes they're like, should I get it? Should I not get it? But if I find out and they don't get it, it's worse, so better get it.
Okay, Aswa and Jason, you need to find out what I need because the coffee and the chocolate won't work for me. So I'll tell you what works so that you can bring it on. Not that I'm expecting you to make mistakes, but it will be quite fun. So, Mallory, thank you very much for your time, for agreeing to do this, for leaving us with so many nuggets as a young person who is ever growing, having the growth mindset and, being so candid about your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and being able to express it, articulate it so well for all of us to, get the golden nuggets from you. So I want to thank you, wishing you a happy new year, looking forward to gathering together. Actually, we've not met in person, all three of us. So hoping this year would be a year where we'll meet and have real hugs and not virtual hugs. With that, thank you very much. Anything you would like to leave the audience? One last sentence that you want to tell us.
Okay, I'll leave you all. And firstly, thank you, Malar, for having me, and thank you for being such a very, very fun crowd. Like literally one of the best interviews I've ever done. So fun, literally. And I think 3 words that I leave with all of you is 3 words called "just one more."
Wow.
Just one more is something that my dad taught me. I call it kiasu at one point because, when teacher says do 5 things, you do 6 kind of thing. But I think just one more also is a good check-in for you to see whether are you doing, whenever you feel you're not doing enough or you're doing too little, just ask yourself, can you do just one more? Is it in contributing, or is it saying good morning, or is it saying helping somebody, or taking a 1 hour extra nap? Just one more.
Nice. I loved it. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best. And yes, I'm looking at rocking together first at lunch with you all, and then
Yes.
hopefully for wherever life takes us. So thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Asva. Thank you, Jason. And thank you to all my wonderful friends, Vijay, Nimala, Sharul, let me see, Gerald, Diong, Vijay,
Mala.
and Nirmala, and Louis. Yeah, I think I've covered everybody. Thank you for joining us. Till I see you next Friday at 12 o'clock. We probably have to shift to include some of my Malay Muslim interviewees. All right, we'll do that soon. Thank you very much. Happy Pongal, Pongal Valtikal. Have a beautiful harvest ahead, but celebrate last year's harvest today. With that, thank you very much. Have a beautiful Friday and weekend. Continue to stay safe until I see you next Friday, same time and same place. See you then. Take care. See you. This is Malar signing off from Hearts and Minds Development Center. Bye.
Hey, amazing people!
Oh, hi guys.